Ah, you are finally here. I bid you welcome.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me, I gasped, rounding the corner into what looked like some kind of dining room with one of those ridiculously long tables. At the end closest to me stood, well, how about I give you a description and you figure it out? Pale skin, long fingernails, piercing eyes, slick black hair with a widow's peak hairline, wearing an old black silk smoking jacket. Yeah? Yeah.
Please, unburden yourself. You may place your tote on the table, he said, slowly and elegantly gesturing towards the table.
My, what?
He means your bag, boy. The backpack.
Another man in a red coat I hadn't noticed before, you know, on the account of Dracula, called down at me from the far end of the table. I swear, Count, you've been around longer than I have. Why'd you insist on being so difficult with your vocabulary? Get with the times, man. English has changed since you learned it. The man scolded as he stood from his place and walked towards us, holding his left hand tucked behind his back as his right twisted his curly mustache between his fingers. You'll have to forgive him, lad. He's quite set in his ways. James Kavanagh. A pleasure. He introduced himself, extending his hand to shake mine. Jose, it's a long story, I replied, shaking his hand nervously.
So are you Dracula?
I asked, unable to hold it in anymore, as I whipped around to face the first guy. Neither of them said anything for the first few seconds, which made me think I screwed up big time. But suddenly they both just started laughing their heads off.
More or less, the man answered with a calm smile. The character in which you are familiar with was inspired by me, yes. Mr. Stoker was a dear friend of mine, and when he found hardship in his writing, he asked for me to help. Certain realties had to be altered, as the sensibilities of the time might not have taken them so well.
Like what?
Well, for example, he began as he unzipped my bag and removed a container of sketchy meat. I do require blood, as I am what you call a vampire. I am what you might know as Strigoi, a higher order of vampire, but I do require human flesh to survive as well. Dear Mr. Stoker thought that might be too grisly for the readers of the time. A simple bite on the neck would have to suffice.
Didn't you... the guy in the book feed a baby to his vampire brides?
Yes. Unfortunately, he did not tell me of that edition in advance. I was quite angry with him because of this. They are falling out of that, I'm afraid, the other man said in the red jacket, his face full of about a half of an Arby's roast beef sandwich. Oh, beg your pardon, he added, placing the sandwich on the table and wiping his face with a paper towel. Okay, well, you guys seem to have a handle on everything here, so I'm just gonna bounce, I started to say as I picked up my bag. I'm afraid not, dear child. Yes, sorry, boy, but we cannot have you leave just yet, they both said, moving to block my way out of the dining room. My heartbeat was starting to pick back up to Metallica speed. Have the real Dracula tell you that you can't leave his house and see how you feel. I was managing to keep my freak out under control, but just barely when the man in the red coat spoke again. We're to understand you've been contacted by this woman, he said, holding a picture of the Harley woman in front of my face. Is that correct?
I guess so. What's it to you?
Ah, outstanding!
He exclaimed, slapping his hand in the picture down on the table next to him, which made me flinch a little. All right, listen here, boy, and listen closely, he said, grabbing my shoulder and pulling me closer. That woman works for an abomination of a man. I've been trying to stop him for centuries, even recently enlisting the help of our good Count here in my efforts. I turned to look at him and gave him a slight bow in acknowledgement before turning back to the man in the red. Who are you? Never you mind, lad. This is important. It's imperative that you earn the woman's trust no matter what. We need to find the man she answers to. Do you understand?
Lives are at stake.
He spoke even louder as his face got close to mine. Whoa, wait, hold on. Whose lives? Who does that crazy chick work for? And what if I don't want to? She's already got my ass trying to spy on Adlin for shit. I cut myself off, slapping my hand over my mouth to shut up before I say anything else that I don't want recorded or something. I just ride a bike and deliver all of a sudden, the man grabbed me by the shirt and slammed me down onto the chair so hard, I slid halfway across the room.
Look, boy!
He roared in my face, his entire demeanor shifting completely in an instant. At that moment, I realized that Dracula, the actual real-life Dracula, wasn't the only one in this room I should be worried about. Or even that Harley lady if she was here. Or Edelyn. He was looking me dead in the eye now, both hands gripping the back of the chair behind me. And have you ever talked to one of those vets? Like, ones that have seen really awful shit and then came back all fucked up beyond repair. That look in their eye when they try to talk about it. Well, that's the look I was getting from this guy.
I am not asking.
You have no choice in the matter, boy. You will do this. Do you understand? He growled at me, the sound of splintering wood cracking under my right ear, causing me to turn to see his left hand for the first time. His metal left hand that was slowly gouging chunks of wood from the chair with his long metallic talon-like fingernails. The hell? As he leaned over me, I noticed an ornate bead necklace fall out from under his shirt, made of like tiny precious stones or something. I remember because of how out of place it looked on his other clothing. I understand, Mr.
That's Captain, boy.
Wait, no. You're not the captain. I started to speak, but he stood upright, looking down at me and said sternly,
Welcome aboard my crew, boy.
What the fuck just happened?
I screamed as I pedaled out of the driveway of the mansion into the street. What the what now? A familiar voice asked from beside me as I rode. Oh, hey, you. Yeah, I can deal with you right now. You actually seem kind of mild by comparison, I said to the ghost of Rissa, who was riding a glowing mirrored stand-in of my bicycle next to me. I think Count Dracula and Captain Hook just bullied me into spying on the person who bullied me into spying on the Snake Lady boss who bullied me into doing this job. And so I suggest, hey, maybe it's time to bring my boss into the loop. Maybe she can help. And they're all like, no, any change in her behavior might cause suspicion and jeopardize the plan. Okay, fine. If you don't want to tell me, then be that way. And then she disappeared with her signature poof. How insane does a story have to be for an actual ghost not to believe it? I'm like 4 levels of bullshit deep at this point. Bullshit within bullshit. Shitception. So I take a few more deliveries that night. Nothing particularly interesting by comparison. Turn my active beacon off and head home. I pull up to Mr. G standing in front of my apartment, arms crossed waiting for me. Does he really just enjoy screwing with me that much? Hi, Mr. G. Can I have—
Rent! You owe rent! It's time to pay!
He shouted louder than necessary, considering I was about 3 feet away from him at the time. Oh, yeah. Okay, you take card? I don't have any cash on me. Come follow. Card reader is in office. As I stepped into the office, I saw a really cute Chinese woman sitting behind the desk who I had met before. She noticed me, smiled, and said, Hello, my name's Julie.
That Julie! She my niece! Go near her and I have nephew fuck you!
He interrupted her.
She helping me with the business.
I think you mean fuck you up, Mr. G, I said as I started to notice a series of thunderous impact-like sounds from the courtyard. I looked out the window to see a literal Asian Bane kick one of those 100-and-something-pound punching bags clean in half. I mean, literally Asian Bane. He was built like a brick shithouse. Bailed. Even had one of those altitude masks on and everything. She wasn't that cute anyways, I said under my breath in disappointment. Here's my card, Mr. G.
Give to her, that's her job,
he shouted, pointing in his niece's direction. You sure are one charming fellow, Mr. G, I said, winking at Julie as I handed her my card. Anyone ever told you kind of look like Winnie the Pooh?
Haha, very funny. You want to be smartass? You do it in someone else's apartment.
I'm sorry, Mr. G. I don't know what I was thinking. I apologized, which made Julie giggle a little. Okay, so maybe she was that cute, I thought to myself as I rolled my bike back to my apartment. I have friends in nightmarish places after all. Maybe one of them can cast some kind of anti-ass-kicking spell on me or something. Hey, you the new guy? Someone shouted at me from the courtyard. Oh Christ, it's Asian Bane.
Hey guy, what's up?
He said as he jogged close to me and extended a hand for me to shake. Oh, yeah, I guess that would be me, I answered nervously, carefully placing my hand in his veiny mitt of destruction.
Oh cool, I'm Han Lao.
Jose, it's a long story. My uncle didn't give you that stay away from my niece so my nephew will eat your baby's routine, did he? Yeah, kinda. Don't worry about it, dude. My sister's a big girl. She can do her own thing, so you don't have to worry about me, he said in a cheerful tone that just did not match his appearance at all. Unless, he said more seriously, you do anything to hurt her, then I will shove my arm up your ass and work you like a hand puppet to make you apologize for whatever you did. Somehow, I actually believed you'd do exactly that.
Well, as long as we're straight on that,
he said before jogging back to the courtyard.
Be nice to my sister or I'll clone you and shove you up your own ass.
What is it with that guy and shoving things up asses? I said to myself as I finally closed the door to my apartment. Could you go ahead and do the dramatic reveal already so I can see to put my stuff down? How do you know? The Holly woman asked from the far corner of the room. I leave that lamp on when I leave so I can see when I get back, I answered as I heard the click of the lamp. Have you been here the whole time?
Did you never leave?
I shouted, noticing the empty food containers that previously called my fridge their home. I want to cash that rain check.
What? Rain check? Oh, lady, I didn't mean it like that!
I squealed once I noticed that she had been sitting there in nothing but a bra and panties. Well then, how did you mean it? She asked in a low, teasing voice. Yeah, I knew it. She was trying to seduce me into helping just to make double sure I helped get her what she wanted. I know this. But I also need you guys to understand that it had been a really long time for me. I mean a hot-ass minute. So please keep that in mind as you pass judgment on me for what you're about to hear. So this half-naked devil woman is walking towards me as seductively as possible. And I hear the words in my head from the captain. Earn that woman's trust, no matter what. Well, guys, for the cause. I wake up the next day not nearly as injured as I anticipated I would be from the night before. Yeah, I spared you the ugly details. No graphic description of Jose's hose here. You're all welcome. Then I hear a knock on the door, so I limp over and crack it open. Hey, Julie wanted me to— Whoa! You good, dude? You look like you just got your ass beat. Han Lao asked once he noticed my disheveled appearance. It's cool. Just a rough night, I answered through the small opening. Oh, okay. Well, Julie said to give you this. He finished, holding up a small piece of folded paper. Just remember what I said. Be nice to her or you'll shove me up my own ass? You got it, he said, snapping his fingers and pointing to me before jogging back towards the courtyard to, I don't know, shove Robin up Batman's ass or something. I closed the door and unfolded the paper to see that it had Julie's number written in black marker. Yeah, you judging me yet? What's that you got there? Asked Holly from the far side of my bed. The receipt for rent, I lied, stuffing the paper into my pocket. So, I gotta go to the store on account you ate, like, most of my food yesterday. Isn't there anywhere you need to be? Nope. My one and only job right now is getting vital server information from you, she answered with a smile. You have my undivided attention. Also, I almost forgot. Here's my company card. Carlo will text me the second you find out anything important. I reached out and took the card and read it. Nevlang Corp was printed on it in bold, green letters with her name and contact information underneath it. Yeah, okay, whatever, I said as I begrudgingly shoved the card into my other pocket so as not to taint Julie's precious number with Harley's evil business card. So, are there any, like, supernatural STDs I should be worried about? Or is it just the regular ones that matter? Well, aren't you bold? And no, there aren't any of those that you need to worry about. But my eggs are probably gestating in your urethra by now.
What? Eggs? Gestating? Urethra? Oh wow, you are so easy. I think this is the start of a beautiful relationship. I cringed as I rode to the store. Her using the word relationship still crawling over my brain like an icky slug. I can't believe you slept with her. Rish's voice chimed in from beside me. You don't know where she's been, or even what she is. Okay, now that's not very nice. I mean, that's none of your business. I corrected myself shortly after tasting the bile of accidentally standing up for that woman. What does she even want from you anyway? She asked, ignoring me completely. I spent the whole trip to the store explaining the complexities of my situation to, well, one of the complexities of my situation. And I think that might have made her have a little sympathy for me and my entire predicament. We talked about it right up until I heard a different voice that seemed to be shouting at me. Hey man! Yo, my guy! I looked over my shoulder to see another cyclist riding up behind me. Hey, what's up? You need something? I asked as he rode beside me. Rissa now nowhere to be found. That bag, you do food delivery? Well, yeah, I said, remembering I was supposed to be on the lookout for more riders for Adeline. Your people hiring? Well, yeah, and it's good money. But the work is a little sketch, I tried to warn him, but he wouldn't hear it. Hey man, I'll take what I can get, he explained dismissively. Okay then, I'm heading to the grocery store. Just follow me there and I'll see about getting you hooked up. I replied before laying it down on the pedals and sprint to the market. Needed to see if it could hang before I sent him to Adeline. Hey, you kept up pretty good, I told him as he rolled in about a minute or two after I did. Bro, how the hell? What kind of gear set is that? And that's a smooth-ass derailleur. I didn't even hear you shift before, he started to say before looking at my bike. Oh shit, that's a track bike. You one of those fix-it-foos? So there's a saying among cyclists, who are already pretty deeply hated throughout a general population to begin with, mind you, that goes, you either die a fixie or live long enough to see yourself become a roadie. A fixie being a slang term for a fixed gear or track bike, often used to denote an extremely cheap, gaudy fixed gear bike, for those that don't know. Most cyclists think people who ride track bikes on the road have some kind of mental disorder or death wish, hence the derogatory term fixie-foo, which some of us choose to use ironically amongst ourselves. But it hits different when a roadie says it to you out of nowhere. Yeah, I know that was a lot of unsolicited bicycle crap, but it's my story and I like bicycles. Eat me. I answered, trying to keep my temper down. Damn, dude, if that's what you like, I prefer to use actual advancements in bike technology, but whatever, he said with a shrug. No brakes either. Good thing I showed up. They'll probably need to replace you soon anyways. He laughed. Oh god, this guy's such a douchebag, I thought to myself. Okay, so yeah, just give me your number. I'll send it to the boss and she'll get back to you at some point. Then I texted Adeline the guy's number and told her he was trying to ride for her. Okay, I just sent it. Keep your eyes on your phone, she should get in touch before... I was interrupted by his phone beeping.
Someone just sent me a link to an app download called Cerber Feast, he said as he checked his phone.
Okay, so you have fun with that, I told him whilst I unhooked the chain from my waist and locked my bike up in front of the store. Bing! What the hell? I looked down at my phone again to see a deposit had just been made to my account through the Cerber app. Bonus $3,000. Adeline might be a terrifying snake witch, but she pays good.